Hey guys, Parker from VTV here, and I'm here with Mr. Kelly. And I've been walking around the school a bit today, you know, doing some filming, doing what we do. And I was wondering, what's school gonna look like when we come back?
So school's gonna look and feel different for our students when you come back in a week or so now. You know, there are a number of changes that have happened around the building that will make the experience a little bit different. You know, we've got changes to our schedule, which, you know, you've started to get used to, but some of those changes will feel different when we're in hybrid. So the flex time, we've got multiple flex locations. We're currently in the library, being one of the flex locations that you'd be. You know, we also will have a flex location in the auditorium, and those will be places that during that flex time your whole grade is going to. You know, in the library here, you can see on the tables, we've got QR codes. So when you come in, you'll scan so that we can track where people's locations are, so we can know where close contacts are. The cafeteria for lunches is going to feel very different. So instead of the big long tables that everyone's used to and accustomed to, we've got desks that are there, again with the QR codes so that we can track who might be sitting on either side of you during the lunches. And then we'll also be having lunch taking place in the gymnasium. So all the bleachers are already pulled out with seating pads set up so that you know where you can sit in the gym, because we need large spaces where we can fit, you know, about 100 people in at a time. So those are things that are going to feel very differently. Moving around the building feels differently. It certainly does to me, because it takes a little bit longer to get everywhere. You've got to follow one-way arrows around most of the building. You know, the whole building essentially moves in a clockwise fashion, so it takes us a little bit longer to get from place to place, and everyone's just patient about the fact that it takes a little bit longer to get where you're going. For our students, it might not be such a bad thing when you want an extra minute or so going to the bathroom when you step out from a class. Having mask breaks in the middle of every class will certainly feel different. And our in-class experience is going to feel a little bit different. You know, all of our classes currently are set up in rows, you know, with desks in rows, and there's only 12 desks in most of our classrooms. So that's going to feel, you know, different from what we're used to over the past couple of years. Lots of changes. You know, only having half of our student body in at a time will feel very different as well. You know, there'll be times where you'll miss having that full class experience, and there'll be times where, you know, class will be a mix of, you know, the students that are in person and students that are on screen remotely. So we'll have lots of changes, and we'll kind of work through it together, and we're excited to have people here and back learning in person.
So Mrs. Bolda, can you explain why there's no picnic tables and desks instead?
Yes, we have to follow guidelines. So the desks maintain the social distancing while people have masks off while they're eating.
Can you explain what students are supposed to do when they walk into the cafeteria?
Yep, when you come into the caf and you can get into line as usual, there's hand sanitizer at the doors, so you can sanitize your hands before you go into the line. Go into the line, and we'll have bags with complete meals, and we will have them labeled. You choose your meal, and then you exit. You swipe your ID card, no pin pad, just swipe your ID card, and then go out, sit at the desk, take the picture of the QR. When you're done eating, you want to take a wipe from the back table and wipe your desk down before you leave.
I noticed there's arrows. What is the traffic pattern for the cafeteria?
So we're going to enter through the English history wing and get your meal, sit and eat here, or if you eat in the gym, you're going to exit the tech ed door. It's one-way traffic.
Okay, thank you.
So school from home and in school is going to look a lot different. Can you tell me what some of those differences will be?
Sure. So there's a couple of different models for how it might look. And it's really going to be dependent from a teacher by teacher and a course by course standpoint, based on what makes sense instructionally for that course and that teacher on that day. Because there might be some days where a teacher keeps everyone together, and then the next day they might say, like, based on what we're trying to do in class now, it makes more sense for this group to do this and that group to be working independently. So it's going to require a little bit of flexibility, but it's going to all come together well.
Hi, Miss Marcia Tier. We know that the nurse's office is going to be a lot different this year. Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. In this time of COVID-19, we're trying to keep everybody safe. So in the middle school and the high school, we have our original health offices. And those offices are going to be for kids that are not feeling well and may be contagious with any illness. So say flu, potential COVID-19. So those offices are going to be off limits. It's not going to be anyone just dropping in for a cough drop or stopping in for lunch, dropping in for mental health, dropping in to use the bathroom. It's going to be stop, do not enter. If you need anything from me or Mrs. Small, you're going to have to ask the teacher to call down, touch base, and we're going to say, okay, you can come down now or you can come down in 5 minutes. And if it's just for like a headache or you just need a Band-Aid, you'll be coming to this office. Anyone who doesn't have any, like a cough or anyone with any contagious symptoms will say, okay, come down to 2.0. And the middle school students will come here and the high school students will come here. Or if, say, somebody has midday medications that they need, they'll come here and we'll take care of them here. So it's a different setup this year.
We already know that a lot of the stuff in school is going to be different. How is it going to be when we're arriving to school?
So first thing, we're trying to have people stay either on the bus or in their cars, whether they're getting dropped off or driving themselves to school, until as close to 7:30 as possible. When that 7:30 time comes, we're starting to let people come into the building, and we're asking people to go directly to their classrooms that they'd have for their first period class, so either their A period or their D period class.
So it doesn't sound like there's going to be any time for any PDA in the morning, so how's the afternoon going to look when we're all leaving?
Well, you're right. There's no corona kissing in the hallways, and the afternoon will be a little bit different as well. So in the afternoons, we're going to try to stagger some of our dismissal over the last like 5 minutes or so of the day. So we'll have anyone that's driving themselves to school exit first, and then we're going to kind of dismiss by buses in 30-second increments. Because we're not going to be using lockers, everyone will have their stuff with them that they'll need, and so just grab all your stuff and head out to the nearest exit.
So Mr. Kelly, is there anything you'd like to tell the Triton students before we come back on Tuesday?
Yeah, so I'm just really excited to see everybody, and I know all of our faculty and staff are excited to see everybody as well. School is much different through a computer and feels much different when people aren't here physically in the building. We know everyone when they come in is going to have a time of adjustment, and we're going to get through it together. And that adjustment's going to be challenging, especially where we've been out of the school building for most of us for 6 months. And so we're going to all get used to it together, all these changes. And we're really confident that our student body is going to do what they always do and rise to the occasion and show everyone that we can show up to school, we can do this safely, and we can make this a great experience for everybody.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.